freewheeling cavalcade of circular motion, thus defined by the octagon table of double-wide mental introspection and dedicated utilitarian outward thinking in defense of zero content. Translation: we ain't got nothing. Oh, hey folks, dude here. Yeah, coming in another edition of Dude After Dark. This one, of course, being a special occasion where basically everything, hopefully, physically, actually works. What happened was last time is I had a extension on my Chrome browser that was intended to keep the pages from refreshing every so often. Like, when you go on Facebook and it's like you're looking at something and all of a sudden it goes, guess what? New stuff. And it basically refreshes the page on the JavaScript. Just give me 1 second. So in the process of refreshing the page in the JavaScript, it basically is built into that HTML and all the rest. When you go and click on the inspect and you see all the gibberish ease that basically conforms to the aspect in which Facebook has their platform laid out, and it tells the browser, hey, I'm going to refresh. You're going to let me refresh. And when I refresh, guess what? Everything that was currently in front of you gets scaled down. You're looking at all new poop. Well, anyway, it was really annoying. It was really just pain in the ass. And it's one of those really just seriously annoying things about Facebook. When you look at it on a PC, you're looking at something and all of a sudden it goes, clap on, clap off. Guess what? I'm switching up everything. And what you're looking at, you're going, but I wasn't done here. Well, that's now gone to the ethers and you're refreshed on a new bunch of tiles, thumbnails, and all the rest of this happy horse stuff. And way, shape, and form, which you're looking at then is you're looking at new poop. Anyway, so way, shape, and form, which we find ourselves, we are now basically going to be doing things, and hopefully everything currently works, doesn't crash and burn, and doesn't refresh like I really want to curse here. But anyway, so let me just give a quick, truly very quick update on, basically making sure people now know that things are working on Facebook. So I'm going to give a real quick confirmation there. So basically everybody knows that it is working. So anyway, looking at, the poop that I have accumulated, I have a veritable pile, and I do mean, how would I even say this except for saying it's a large, stinking, nasty, hairy pile of sound guy. No, it's not that. It is a veritable pile of new stuff from all the accumulated I was not going there. Anyway, so the accumulated pile of stuff. Sound guy, stop. Sound guy. Sound guy. Sound guy. Anyway, so basically an accumulated pile of, don't do it. The accumulated pile of new stuff which I've acquired. And we are now functioning normally because I've adjusted the...
I'm Mr. Meeseeks. Look at me.
No, I did not adjust the Mr. Meeseeks. Okay, I was using an extension that just was not working with me. Okay, sound guy?
Not the mama. Not the mama. Not the mama. Not the mama.
Sound guy? No. It was not like that at all. I'd simply installed this extension to keep things from going.
I'm Mr. Meeseeks. Look at me. Not the mama.
Okay, I think we get the picture, okay? The extension was going, not the mama, clank.
Not the mama.
I think we got it.
Not the mama. Not the mama. Not the mama.
okay, he's really gonna have fun with the not the mama. So I gotta proceed. If I don't proceed, he'll just keep playing it. Patriot Fever in the room, appreciate you coming on by. Yeah, the digital. He says that he assumed the digital feds caught up with me. No, it was not the digital feds.
Not the mama.
Sound guy, would you stop with the dinosaur? It was not that at all. It was an extension to keep the page from refreshing. And essentially it just said, oh, you're running a live cast. That must be something that needs to be refreshed.
Not the mama.
Sound guy, I think we're good.
Not the mama.
Sound guy.
Not the mama. Not the mama.
I think he threw the last one in there just to be obnoxious. No, Patriot Fever. Essentially what it was an extension that was in my Chrome browser. And I guess it just didn't play nice with YouTube because YouTube was like, oh no, if you're going to use this, we're going to make you really work for it. And they kept refreshing the live cast. So it's neither here nor there. So we'll move on now because I'm now dealing with the
Not the mama.
sound guy. Stop, okay? It's not not the mama.
I'm Mr. Meeseeks. Look at me. Not the mama.
He gets in a groove, okay? Stop. Just stop.
I'm Mr. Meeseeks. Look at me.
I don't have a box. I'm not pushing a box with Mr. Meeseeks. Stop it, okay? Stop. Anyway. So looking. We have a veritable pile of news stuff. Now I've seen this both ways. There is this guy that they're touting out who says, this guy is never wrong. He's been right for the last 17 elections and blah, 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 blah. And he has these six things that he says are paramount for a re-election on somebody who's an incumbent. And he says essentially that, Biden only is missing 2 of them. And it's like, if you have most of them, you're a shoo-in. Dude, no, okay? There's never been a president like Joe Kaka with his mental enfeeblements, and everybody can see it for what it is. Just give me 1 second here. Stand by on that one. I got some really funny news stories. But anyway, so basically, AmericanJournalDaily.com, ample signs suggest 2024 election won't be anything like the 2020. Joe Biden and Donald Trump will be on the ballots again. Biden can't count on the same factors to sweep him into the White House. 4 years of problems. Obviously, the racial divide, a bunch of people saying, I'm not vote for him, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Not doing it anymore. All the rest of this fun stuff, going on and on and on. Let's see. And this one I find very, very interesting. This is kind of very much like, how do I say this without saying this? Hang on a second. I'll find the appropriate, hang on a second here. I know I got it in here somewhere. Hang on a sec. Okay. Okay. Here we go. If you don't run again for president, we'll just make all this go away. Okay? Aye. So basically now it's come out to be that there's the news guys. Me kill this because this is going to get way too distracting. So anyway, the news guys are now coming out with something, and it's very, very interesting. Supposedly there's now this whole, if you don't run, we won't prosecute you type of thing. And let me just find a news story real fast here. Scroll. Like I say, I have a veritable stack of stuff. And it is not even just a little bit here. But essentially what they're saying to Trump is if you don't run again, we won't prosecute you. Now, the other side of that one that's very interesting is, of course, the fact that, well, obviously, if he does run, then it becomes a case of, let me try to find this news story again. Okay, here we go. It's coming in from yahoo.com of all places. And Yahoo is now quoting, quote, "It's now time to cut your losses. Foreign Trump prosecutor outlines potential win-win situation." So essentially what he's saying is, if you don't run, wink, wink, nod, nod, potentially all these nasty little problems could just possibly go away. So 12 jurors, 6 alternates were selected. Trump's criminal trials are guaranteed to be a spectacle given his bombastic temperament, egomania, and megalomania. Okay, this is Yahoo, okay? Nope. Nobody reads this crap. That's why Yahoo is so jingoistic, so hardcore, so really left wing. But what they're saying essentially in this news story is that, if Trump basically doesn't run for president, we can just make all this stuff just go away. It's not just going away. And I guarantee the American public has seen this thing for what it is. And it is really, truly, completely, absolutely obvious to anybody with a heartbeat and a set of eyes why this stuff would come springing up just before the election takes place. It spells your desperation at trying to keep Donald Trump from being re-elected for a second term. Zach, appreciate you coming by, dude. Let's sound guy off work. No, he was pounding. Okay. Behind the scenes, sound guy probably got a hold of a 12-pack. Then he probably got a hold of another 12-pack. Then he probably got a hold of a couple big bottles of, stuff. And then he probably drank his stinking butt off and proceeded to come up with some, craziness. Patriot fever in the room. So in other words, he's being prosecuted only because he's running. No, he's being prosecuted because they see him as anybody that they really truly don't want to have a second time they're in dealing with, because he is going to come back in with the ash gnashing teeth, and it's not going to be good for them. Just give me 1 second here. I got hot liquids. So they just don't want to deal with him in there a second time, deconstructing the swamp, of which he's already said, in no uncertain terms, he is going to pick that thing apart like a vulture on the side of the road. So the other side of it, too, is also when you see obvious examples of what happens when you have less government, things get better. That's right. Javier Milei announces for the first GDP surplus in Argentina since 2008. Notice, he's only been in office not even a year and change, hardly a year, and already he's got the place turned around. So he is applying libertarian, less government aspects. The people are going, hey, things are looking up. Things are starting to improve. Why are they improving? Mostly because it's a 3-pronged phase of operation. 1, stop spending like crazy. 2, reduce the size of your government. 3, return the power to the population. That's how you get freedom enacted, reenacted, and reasserted. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these stories because I have literally tons because of all the problems I had last week. But he's already said, do these things and things will improve markedly. So the president's declared the achievement a feat of historic proportions at a world level. Milei addressed the nation, a national broadcast accompanied by Economy Minister Luis Caputo and the president of Argentine Central Bank, Santiago Brasili, in the roughly 15-minute message. Milei said Argentina has, quote, traveled more than half the way, end quote, through the implementation of the shock therapy policies his administration promised when assuming presidency in December, intended to avert a complete economic collapse. 4 months, folks. 4 months. 4 months. He's already gotten the GDP surplus. What does that tell you about government overture, government overspending, and complete and total ridiculous amounts of too much bureaucracy? Libertarian policies work every single time they are tried. However, most times you will have politicians going, well, I'm on this side. Well, I'm on this side. We're stuck in the middle with these two groups of assholes causing all these problems, duking it out with each other, causing nothing to get fixed. All they're doing is fighting with each other all day long. And oh, yeah, at the end of the day, they're at the bar toasting one another, going, dude, you really got me with a good one. Yeah, you got me too. That was really a good one. Clinking glasses. Yes, that's how you fix these things. You remove the government overture of control. You remove the government over expenditure of gross bureaucracy. You remove gross amounts of needless, neglectful, complete and total abject over expenditure, fixing problems that aren't there. That's libertarianism in its best extents. Scrolly. This one, I cannot begin to tell you how much this cracks me up. You know what? I probably could play this again. Why? Because it's actually pretty appropriate. Fredo, you lost your job at CNN. But you know, we're desperate. We need somebody who can yell. Done with that, man. So anyway, CNN's so freaking desperate. They're trying to rehire Chris Cuomo. Hey, Fredo, hey. Chris Cuomo. Ugh. Yeah, you's needed in the house because we're desperate for anything. Didn't he get fired because he did something that was unscrupulous and just, oh yeah, pretty bad? Yeah, but they still want him back, so they're going to give him cover. CNN, you are a joke. Speaking of somebody else who's a joke, professional actors, what do they really do? Well, they pretend for a living, but they tend to think that they're based in reality. I cannot do this one justice, folks, but Mark Hamill, the guy that played Luke, he thinks Joe Biden is the best president we've ever had.
Oh my.
Yeah. A special accreditation for him. Yeah, golf clap. Just when you hear this kind of idiocy and they think that they actually have some form of public recognition of their complete and total smarterdom. Wow. Just wow. Martina Sasquatch. Squatch reporting in DEFCON 2, facing having to move again. Oh, dude, it's so sorry to hear it. But you know what? You could relocate out of the land of fruits and nuts. He's unfortunately a Californian, and he doesn't think like most Californians. Unfortunately, he's just stuck there for the moment. Dude, I'm gonna have to bastardize Horace Greeley, but go east, young man. Go east, not west. Wow. There's so many better states you could be residing in, dude. And then I guarantee you, you're going to be spending a lot less to live in it. Trust me. Scrolly. This guy, oh man, this guy, he is a particularly stinky liberal turd that you try to step around. But I'm going to be telling you about, of all people, not even a notable major actor at this point, but Michael Rappaport. He really just kind of gets more attention because he's very Brooklyn and he's very, very shrill. But this mindless dipwad who couldn't find 2 seconds where he didn't talk smack on Trump suddenly finds out that Biden and company is not so great and acts to the middle of the road. You utterly contemptible dickhead. You were the reason we got Biden and all of his associated problems in the first place. So STFU. So supposedly he's not happy about the liberal protesters carrying on in the college campuses right now about Hamas and the genocidal Israelis. Ugh, yuck. Ooh, diving school. That sounds cool. Martina Sasquatch is talking about, he's locked into California, but he's thinking of, talking to the fishes. Playing Jacques Cousteau, I guess. So Scrolly. I find this one as a libertarian, basically a dispossessed libertarian stuck in a state where I cannot vote in my primary as a libertarian, but I'm basically a dino. So I'm a Democrat in name only, so I can really screw with them. I can mess with them in the primary, I can mess with them in the main election. So that's why I became a Democrat in the state of Maryland. Mrs. Dude got so pissed off at the DNC, she became an independent. So she gave up her primary rights. There is no primary vote unless you pick one side or the other. And the R's have zero chance in this state. I mean, literally zero chance. There is one elected official who's Republican in the state of Maryland. His name is Andy Harris. Good guy, but he's also kind of out in like an enclave of he will get that kind of support. Rest of the state, not going to happen. Martinez Sasquatch. Dude, if you could do underwater welding, way dangerous, but the cash is like insane. Underwater welders make unbelievable buku cash. But, besides the shark, there's also the chance of getting dropped on with thousands of tons of steel, blowing up underwater, dying of the bends, dying of other, kind of pressure injuries. There's all kinds of good ways to get, shark food. Don't do that. Anyway, so Scrolly. So I basically said, I'm pretty much libertarian, conservative, very strong conservative, constitutional leanings. But I'll tell you what, the new 2024 poll shows surprising switch. Both Biden and Trump didn't see their switch coming. So basically what it is now Trump is starting to edge up, starting, air quotes, starting to edge up. And what it is kind of interesting, but I'm going to express it to you like this. And a head-to-head race, the NBC News poll showed Trump leading 46 to 44%, but in a five-way race, including Biden, Trump, Kennedy, Jill Stein, and Cornel West, Biden leads Trump by 39 to 37%, with 13% opting for Kennedy. Now, here's my point into it and how I'm going to express it. I have no love whatsoever for RFK Jr. And if that gargle voice guy wins, both parties are to blame for being the cause and reason nothing gets fixed, and they deserve to lose. However, the only reason why RFK is inching up right now is because the independents are saying, we cannot vote for Biden, we kind of hate Trump, but we don't know where to go with this. I guarantee you, though, RFK is anti-gun, and he's a green weenie of the highest order. Like all kinds of the stupid technology stuff they keep throwing at us for, green power. We'll have solar panels everywhere and big windmills, and we'll fix everything. And everybody will be farting daisies, and the cows will be dead, and we'll have no more carbon offsets because everything will be fixed. It'll be a wonderful thing. Not gonna freaking happen. I really wanted to curse there. Not gonna freaking happen. But if Gargle Voice wins, that's how I refer to RFK Jr. If Gargle Voice wins, both parties are to blame. And deservedly so. They are to blame. Patriot Fever. I don't even know if I want to take that one out of the room. That one is that was dangerous, okay? We're talking kind of very we're talking more than a little bit dangerous. That's something's knocking at the door there, and it's not going to be it's going to be very scary. Okay, I'll take it out of the room. What the hell? He said, my vote, Trump names RFK Jr. head of the CIA. Oh, man. Wow. Oh, okay. That sounds cool, Martinez. Yeah, he's talking tactical stuff about what he's looking at doing. So anyway, sound guy. He's not diving at the moment. He's underwater. Sound guy. He's already underwater. Sound guy. Stop. He's already underwater. He's actualized. He's pressurized. He doesn't need to go any further. Okay? No. Okay. Oh, okay. The ding. I think he's saying he understands. Okay. All right. So I got that. So he's underwater. He's now used to the pressure. Okay, you don't do that in a wetsuit unless you want to be stuck with it. All right. Okay. No, I'm not even gonna further that one because you never know where he's gonna go next. But let's just say if you're stuck in a diving suit after cracking a couple of ones like that,
Fatality.
yes. Okay, so what do you do next when you're stuck in your wetsuit filled with your own filth?
Fatality.
Thanks. Uh, Martina Sasquatch. Well, dude, that's how you warm up. Yeah, he says basically if you got a wetsuit and you got to go piddle, you just go in the wetsuit. All right, so let me get back into the news stories here. The protesters sweeping the U.S. college campuses following the mass arrest in Colombia, and I got more Colombia stories, trust me. It is really blanking stupid. But you know what? I think I have a cure for this. I really, really think I do. I think I got a major cure on how to fix this. I would say, very simply put, you just, you just,
I say we take off and nuke the entire from orbit.
oh, no, sound guy, you got to do it the hardcore way. You're going to take off and,
I say we take off and nuke the entire
Bitch.
from orbit.
exactly. Just,
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
yeah, you just, you don't even play with these kids anymore, okay? You just take off and nuke the entire site from orbit. It's the only way to be sure. This one I think is hilarious. A guy, really rich guy, by the name of Robert Kraft, who was a billionaire, news story coming in from Newsmax.com, says he will no longer donate to Colombia. Yeah, the New England Patriots owner, Robert Kraft, says he'll no longer donate, and I think he actually pulled some major support. Kraft, the founder of the Foundation to Combat Anti-Semitism, and in a statement to Colombia, is no longer institutionally recognized as a Gaza solidarity encampment and continues. Quote, I am deeply saddened by the virulent hate that continues to grow on campus throughout our country, said Kraft, who attended Columbia on a scholarship. Quote, I am no longer confident that Columbia can protect its staff and students, and I'm not comfortable supporting the university until collective action is taken. So he's pulled the gravy. And not to say that Columbia is broke, but they're going to feel that. They're really, really going to feel that. Jump over here to this one real quick, truthpress.com. I knew this was coming. Thor's hammer. Fakaka-doody knew this was coming. Now, this is not because it's inconvenient for the customers, but in Walmart, of all places, the thieves are using the self-check to steal the place blind. So Walmart is replacing their self-checkout, and the thieves are forcing significant changes. Gee, who could have figured that when the bad guy comes over and goes, do-do-do-do-do-do-do, boop. Oh, boop, 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 boop. I'm not paying for this. I'm not paying for this either.
No. 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 Hell no. 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 I refuse. No.
And the next thing you know, all they do is just hit the button and get the heck out of Dodge, knowing they don't have to pay squat for the stuff they stuffed in the bag and unscrupulously stuffed in the bag and slid out the door, knowing, oh, I got my receipt. Yeah. Oh no! Oh no! Patriot fever. You know, they've tested that theory on Mythbusters, and the O2 tank does not explode when you shoot it with the M1 Garand, okay? It just punches a hole, goes, leaks out all the air, or possibly goes propelling itself along. But it was great movie effects. Shoot the tank of oxygen and the shark blows up. That was kind of funny. Now, if it was a tank of acetylene, yeah, that would be a little different. That would definitely be a little different. If you zap the tank of acetylene, oh yeah, that'd be a heck of a pop. Because acetylene is very blanking, unstable S-hit. It's about as good as I can make that one. Excuse me. This one I find hilarious. There is a guy who's a YouTube notable. I didn't get his name, and I kind of looked him up. Just give me 1 second here. So, YouTube notable millionaire guy, and this F-tard thinks, that being wealthy is just a one-year thing to be rich again, so he gives up everything but his smartphone and clears out his bank account so he's got nothing in there, right? And then says, I'm going to give it a go to get rich again in 1 year. Well, he was doing couch surfing and eventually got himself a telemarketing job. Final verdict, stressed out, fails miserably, and has to get himself some psychological treatment because, he freaked himself out so badly, it is horrendous. This one I find kind of personally a little bit just sad. Now, I'm not a huge fan of this brand, but I'm not unfamiliar with it. And it is something that I've also thought, really as like, okay, if you go back to the good old days of like, the latter 60s, early 70s, where, everybody was building quote, air quotes, muscle cars, the big three, so Ford, Chevy, Dodge, Ford, Chevy, Mopar, call it what you will, before Stellantis and all that crap. So basically, Ford, GM, and Mopar, Chrysler, call it what you will, were the big three. Now, there was a couple also rans. AMC was the scrappy little guys that would not go away. And if you do some research, you realize that they out-Mopar'd Mopar. Now, one of the things that was classic about Mopar was those guys could go in there with not a whole hell of a lot of stuff, but with some very good engineering, they could make the stuff they had run like crazy. Really just great technology for what they had to play with. Well, AMC kind of rode along on those coattails, and he did something very, very similar. Well, what they would do is they're like, we don't want to re-engineer these things, or we don't have to engineer these things, or we don't want to have to bother with all these other things. So we'll just simply use existing parts. So they built their own engines, but they bought the transmissions from GM. They said, who makes the best air conditioner compressors? Chrysler AirTemp. So you basically had an American Motors engine, you had a GM transmission, you had a Chrysler air compressor for the AC, which is basically just all a Freon compressor is. It's just an air compressor, but their stuff was built hell for stout. So what did it all come out to be? They basically built some cars that were exceedingly competitive. Like if you look back in the good old days of like the latter 60s, early 70s, like Mark Donohue and all those guys, they were absolute terrors. And they raced and they were very competitive. For what they had and what they had to engineer with, they did a whole hell of a lot of amazing stuff. They were out Moparing Mopar because Mopar really had scant budgets to play with, but AMC had even less, or American Motors Corporation. So anyway, way, shape, and form, which they find themselves, obviously, they ran out of stuff and they basically crashed and burned. The Jeep side got sold to Chrysler. And of course, now the problem is that there is not a whole hell of a lot of stuff of theirs to play with. Now, people doing AMC restorations, like there's a company that I was just, referencing. The place on Facebook is AZAMC Restorations. So obviously they're in Arizona. So they say, I'm not going to read it since it's a whole long, thing going on here. But they said essentially, due to dwindling supply of quality machine shops and very poor quality aftermarket parts, as well as a lack of people interested in learning the engine building and machine shop trades, regret to inform many of our followers and current as well as past customers, we're no longer taking on any new engine build orders unless it is for our car. We are restoring. Since COVID, we've had to do rework on multiple engine rebuilds due to poorly manufactured parts that failed to break in on our machine work, or machine work that was below our standards due to guys like them dying off and the young guys no longer being interested in taking their place. Example, rod bearings now being made too thin, all kinds of other issues. So scrolly. So essentially what it's saying is like camshaft manufacturers failing to harden their stuff correctly, tappet lifters now terrible quality. So basically all the stuff that actually made the valve train run is Chinesium. So much, so hardcore, so bad that a lot of people are going with secondary functions and they're using incorrect parts just to make the engines run without grenading after running for only 8 hours. So anyway, the way, shape, or form which we find ourselves, this seems to be the current issue with the times. Seems these new kids don't want to get their fingernails, grease underneath their fingernails, and they don't want to learn the trades for machine work. So that stuff is dying out a unbelievably sad death. So what's going on, and I would say probably if you got one of these AMCs, you want to just do it real quick and easy, pop that engine out, grease the snot out of it, stash it in your shed, covered and wrapped for posterity's sake, and get yourself a crate engine and just drop it in there. The small block Chevy built-ins, the LS block drops and all the rest of that stupid stuff. All that technology is out there, and in the end run, it's probably going to come out cheaper to blow up an LS rather than blowing up an irreplaceable engine that is original to the car. So that's what I would probably do, is I would just do an LS swap and be done with it, because all those parts are out there, and literally it is, how much fun everybody's been having with the Honda 2.4K motor. Well, the Chevy LS is basically the Honda 2.4K motor of V8s. Everybody's using them. They are universal at this point. Excuse me one sec. I got so much pollen going on right now. Even taking a Zyrtec, it's just going, yeah, that's nice. You took the med, and the pollen guys are going, hi, how you doing? Where are the pollen? Yeah, so I'm really taking it up, various apertures of cluster yummies. See, scroll. 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 I got a bunch of memes in here that are just naughty. Okay. Remember when the RNC told dingy Harry Reid, quote, if you do this filibuster thing, we may use it in the future against something you want or against somebody on your side of the aisle. The same can apply here. So, coming in from AmericanJournalDaily.com, the Supreme Court is now stepping in. And they're now stepping in saying that presidents who lose their independence and be unable to function in office, they knew the actions in office could lead to criminal charges, really screws with the process. So now the Supreme Court is now getting into this whole thing about how much inoculation of don't mess with the president does he have? Well, he seems to probably have quite a bit more than you think he has, because he needs to be able to do these things without being zapped later on after he gets out of office, like they're trying to do to Trump. So the problem is right now for the Democrats that they're doing this thing is they might further inoculate the president and make him have even more immunity than he had previously. Just give me 1 second here. Page Revere, no. It's not going to be the Chevy 350. It's going to be probably the 6.2, or it's going to be the 5.3. Why? They don't leak oil all over the place like a 350 does. This one I find hilarious, and I'm going to get into this only for about 2 seconds. Truthpress.com, Kamala's Secret Service agents brawl. An agent is handcuffed and removed from the scene. I think possibly what it is somebody was like, okay, we really truly are dealing with her, and she's just really just. I think I know why.
Don't want to come.
Oh no, you sure did.
Do not come.
No, I think you did.
She's gone from suck to blow.
Do not come. I don't come.
It could have surprised me. Anyway, I think the Secret Service was, somebody was detailed to do something, and apparently they got scrappy. Scroll. I got a bunch of memes in here. I don't know if you're going to this or not, but this is absolutely hilarious. And I cannot do this one justice except for simply calling it what it is. But with all the problems that, Joe Kaka has right now, ambulating himself around, so he's now got cover. He's got a bunch of guys, girls, whomever's to walk around with him. So now he has a bunch of walkers. Not that kind of walker sound guy. Okay, sound guy. No, it's people walking around Joe Kaka, not zombies.
You've got me.
Okay, you got brains.
You've got
The tapping is me waiting for him to stop doing what he's doing. Are you done? You're done, right? You're done? Hopefully he's done. Anyway, so he's now got walkers.
You've got.
Are you done? Okay, so he's got walkers. Anyway, what it is he's basically got a bunch of people to walk around him to maybe take some of the heat off of him walking around going and being all, bad ambulatory and whatnot. Is they're now going to walk around him, giving him cover, and he's now going to be in a crowd of people once he gets off the helicopter and walks down to the White House. So they didn't come from a barrel mistakenly. The oil guy. Yeah. Oil zombie. Yeah. No, I don't think they're black and oily and go birds. No. Be great though. That'd be epic, man. Is it they call him the tar guy, tar man or something like that? I think they call him the tar man. But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, Patriot. I'm sorry, Martina Sasquatch. I know exactly what you're talking about because, that was like movie night back in the day at my friend's place where we'd go and get the VCR, fire it up, and basically it becomes like, we're pounding beers and watching movies and have a good old time. Yeah, good times. TV party tonight. I found this one to be absolutely perfect. Let me see if I can't find the clean version of this. It's one that just it needs, okay? It needs. Okay. So basically Donald Trump Jr. was offered a offer to run the NRA, and he pretty much told them,
You asshole.
yeah, he pretty much told them to just go away. I think it pretty much was like, hey, Trump Jr., would you like to do this?
Sarah Connor.
Yes.
You asshole.
Okay. I think that was a little bit messy there, sound guy. But yeah, that's pretty much what he said. He's like not interested. Step off. So I don't know if you heard about this. Joe Kaka is already promising if he gets reelected, he's going to raise taxes. He's going to do more gun control. The usual leftard kind of stuff. And already people are pissed off about it. So from Daily Wire, President Joe Kaka signaled on Wednesday he wins re-election this fall. Americans should expect to see an increase in their taxes, which comes as many are struggling with high inflation rates are ready to define Biden's presidency. Quote, Donald Trump was very good with his $2 trillion tax cut that overwhelmingly benefited the wealthy and biggest corporations and exploded the federal debt. Biden claimed in a post on X, quote, that tax cut is going to expire. If I'm reelected, it's going to stay expired. Please keep saying stupid hit like that. Please keep saying stuff like that. I'm not going to get into the whole Israeli-Palestinian thing. We all know what's going on there. The Palestinians are playing around, and they're trying not to give up whatever hostages are still left alive. And the Israelis are going into Rafah, and they're just raping, pillaging, and burning every time they go in there and they face these guys. It's not even funny how bad Hamas thought that they were going to do this without being so overly matched. It's beyond measure how badly judged they did this opportunity upon, screwing themselves. I got to play this one. There's no other way I could justify this other than simply playing this for what it's worth. And it might take a second to get this correct on the proper part of the timeline there, but I cannot do this justice. It is absolutely hilarious what happened to this chick. So this professor chick, she's doing her little spiel, little shtick. This was at Emory University, and supposedly she was trying to get the cops' attention. Well, yeah, but she also batted him on the back of the head. I mean, that's about the only way I can express it. But it was absolutely hilarious for what it was, because she bapped the cop on the back of the head. He grabs her, tackles her, and I cannot do this justice for this soundbite. Okay, really hard to understand there, but she's like, I apologize. I'm a professor. I'm a professor of economics. And the guy's got her floor sandwiched after he's handcuffed her. But I cannot do it justice. The way that she basically swung on him and clipped him in the back of the head. He was like, oh, hell no. Grabbed her, basically arm locked her, floor slammed her. And then she was getting snotty about it. So then basically the other cop jumped on her other arm, unpeeled that arm, got the flexi cuff on her, went, eek. There you go. Now you're nice and comfy. And she proceeded to get transported for bapping on a cop when he didn't need to be bapped upon. Let's see. Scroll. Oh yeah, and Return of the Night of the Living Dead. Return of the Living Dead. Yeah. Movie scared the snot out of him at 13. Hey, yeah, exactly. There, Mercedes. I'm not going to take that one out of the room, but that one happening between the problems, shall we say? Yeah, since it's 2024, and all we're going to bring up is the fact that the Arabs, appropriated that from the IRA. Yeah, exactly, man, exactly. Also, the other thing too is also you see those guys running around, they got their little masks on and all the green festive stuff and, all the real, the whole little Hamas, we love Hamas things. And they're running around reading translated copies of Mein Kampf. Yeah. So they're definitely channeling, Hitler of all people. This one, of course, I think is just absolutely lovely, but an organic gathering? Nope. The soldiers of Soros socialism are gathered. The ASU Gaza camp was cleared. 69 arrests made. Most were not students or faculty. This is not something organic, folks. Texas does not play this game. Don't try this hit in Texas. Coming in from the post-millennial, on Wednesday, Texas police dispatched the University of Texas and Austin to restore lawful order after anti-Israeli protests erupted on campus, sparking chaos and disruption. The anti-Israeli demonstrations began around noon, and by 2 p.m., students set up their Gaza Solidarity encampment on the grass in front of the UT Tower. However, unlike other colleges which have been plagued by similar anti-Semitic protests, university officials warned organizers about disciplinary action ahead of time, saying that organizers appear to violate our policies and rules and disrupt our campus operations, which would not be tolerated. It's chaos now. The DPS riot troopers forcefully dispersing protesters, making contact, at least one arrest. Yeah, well, I tend to think, the hippie type of stuff from the 1960s does not fly so well in the 2000s or the 2020s. Excuse me. Like I said, the pollen is really, really kicking my ass. Connor Stanley, what is my 2024 Doomsday Bingo board? I don't have one. I don't really go in for this truck about, the nuclear midnight clock and all the rest of that happy horse stuff. I tend to think Putin, even as hardcore and craven as he is, knows that once the birds go up, you don't call him back. I don't care if he's got hypersonic, all the rest of this stuff. I already had this discussion with a passenger the other day. It's like, you know what? No matter what dude thinks he's got, yeah, it might be 15 minutes faster than what we have, but the return flight is still going to have happen. And you can't knock down a couple thousand nuclear missiles coming in on you. I don't care how much stuff you have. You're not going to knock it all down. All the technology is in place. And then all this crap about, America's stuff is not so good. It's plenty fine, okay? If you want to basically disperse the human population in the dust and dust the planet, make it glow at night, easily done, okay? Push the buttons, done. In terms of the actual aspects of it, I'm not a humanist. I'm actually kind of more of like a spiritualist. I don't know if anybody really describe myself as a good Christian. But you know what? I tend to think that really we get rebooted. So the next plane of existence got to be better than this, okay? So me getting woofed off and going someplace else, I'm more concerned about the means of travel rather than, the how do I get there? I really truly don't think getting woofed off with basically a nuclear weapon is going to be the worst way to go, because you're pretty much dead before you can even think about it, okay? So let's just be honest about it. The physics of it is such, it takes, this long an amount of time to realize it, and you're gone in about that amount of time. So bigger things I got to worry about than seeing a flash on the wall. Also, DC is only not even 40 miles away from me. I live not too far from Aberdeen Proving Grounds. I'm in ground zero, okay? Let's just be perfectly honest here. I'm in blanking ground zero. There's enough stuff in Maryland they want to lay flat. I'm done. I'm not even going to give it a second thought. Nuclear weapons, biological, chemical, all that stuff, not even going to give it a second thought. I don't even have a gas mask for exactly that reason, is it's blanking stupid to try to survive something that the rest of you is falling apart on. Oh, I don't want to breathe these nasty particles. The rest of you is getting smoked. You may as well be standing in a microwave. Don't even think about it. Done. Scrolly. I don't know if you heard about this one or not, but supposedly Disney is remaking another classic. Oh, but it's going to go DEI, inclusive garbage. Yes, Snow White is now going to be done yet again, and they're going to be casting a male performer as the evil queen. Oh, behave. Oh, man. If you want to talk about, if you want to talk about, that.
Oops, I dropped my gerbil. What?
Oh, you did what?
Oops, I dropped my gerbil. What?
That's what I thought you said. Oh, no. Oops, I dropped my gerbil. But yeah, the evil queen is now going to be a dude. Wow. Speaking of trying to rehab stuff that really, truly should never, ever have happen. Yes, CBS, that pile of stinking CBS. They're trying to rehabilitate, of all people, Dan Rather. Okay, let's just put it in perspective here. This guy was blatantly caught lying. And I don't mean just a little bit. I mean blatantly caught lying. Was completely found to be discredited, given a boot by the wayside. And oh yeah, he's 92 years old. And why did they S-hit can him? It's because he tried to rig the 2004 presidential election. And of course, in 60 Minutes, he ran a story that claimed that George Bush went AWOL during his time in the Texas Air National Guard. The story was true, and Rather had the documents to prove it. The story was also phony and timed to devastate the wartime president. Bush Jr. was exposed as a liar and shirker in contrast to his Democrat opponent, John Kerry, who served a few months in Vietnam. None of that was true. But they're trying to revive him, so the desperate liberal news is trying to reanimate a dead dino. That takes some doing. This I find completely hilarious, going back to the college pukes yet again, causing all the mayhem and trying to suck up to Hamas. This is hilarious. Now, when you're playing a video game and you basically get, killed, you can either reboot your level or you can respawn, but that's not how things work in real life. That's right, they're trying to do it in real life. But actions have consequences with no do-overs and no respawns. So college protesters are now seeking amnesty to keep arrests and suspension from trailing them in a future career path. How petty is this? I stand up for this thing, but don't hold me responsible for my actions because I was just a kid. I didn't know what I was doing. But yeah, everybody should be able to do all these things at a younger age. The disparity between logic and honesty on the Democrat side of the aisle is unbelievably remarkable on how poorly suited it is to reality. This is sad. I mean, they basically saying, well, we want to act like a-holes, but we don't want to get called on it later on when we start job hunting. No, you should be called on it every chance possible. If you basically go to jail and you're a felon, you try to go and get a gun, guess what? You're not going to get a gun. If you try to vote in some states, oh yeah, you're not going to vote. Oh yeah, if it's a minor enough felony, potentially get it, cleared, potentially, possibly. But yeah, it's not like something you do and then go, hey, can you maybe fix that to okay, thank you, I was naughty. No. If you do these things, you have to look at them with clarity and you have to look at them long view. What's going to come back and bite me later? These guys don't do that. They simply just act up, act out, and go, geez, I got caught doing something naughty. Can you fix it for me? No, you don't fix it for you. You did these things, take responsibility for your actions, man up, and act like a person of some amount of not reproach, but maybe honesty. If you're going to do it, do it. But if you're going to do it, stand up and basically, take the comeuppance for doing these things. Sorry, you do these stupid things that come back and bite you in the ass. You did them. You're not going to get a respawn. You're not going to get a do-over. Scroll. I don't know if you heard about this guy or not, but this, how do I even express this? I got it, sound guy. This liberal piece of this cockroach. This cockroach. So don't try your pathetic left-wing cryberry reactive stuff on other people's property in Florida. You're not in New York anymore. So a 63-year-old leftist from Syracuse, New York, has been arrested in Florida after he's accused of keying a pickup truck with a Let's Go Brandon sticker that provoked his ire. Richard Philip Brothers was arrested on March 26, 2024, after he was caught on camera keying a green Toyota Tundra in the parking lot of the Winn-Dixie supermarket in Monroe County, Florida. The incident occurred 2 days prior on March 24. According to the police report obtained by the Gateway Pundit, Richard Brothers knowingly and intentionally used a key to scrape the paint on the victim's vehicle. Richard admitted he did this on purpose because he saw a Let's Go Brandon bumper sticker in the victim's vehicle and he did not like it. Richard's actions require the truck to be repainted, which will cost approximately $3,000 to $6,000. Now, remember that number, folks. Remember. So it's identified via the security footage that caught him deliberately scratching the truck after noticing the sticker. Quote, I was able to identify Richard through the investigation and contacted Richard on his cell phone. Lives primarily in New York, but owns a vacation house in Summerland Key, where you're great to meet with me. I arrived at his house and asked him if he knew what it was about, to which he said, no. Officer Lane sent a police report. Police, do you remember what you did when you walked out of Winn-Dixie to the green Toyota Tundra? What did you do to it? Brothers, I scratched it. Police, why? Was it because of the bumper sticker? Because you got a ton of security footage there, man. Okay, I can see you walking behind it. You look over it, and you see she's got the sticker and says, let's go Brandon or something. Brothers, I guess it infuriated me. Was that it? Is that the only reason why you did it? Don't you know who owns the truck or anything? Yeah, that's the only reason I did it. So here's the unfortunate news. She wants to press charges, so I have to take you to jail, sir. It costs about $6,000. It's a felony. When you damage someone's property over $1,000, it's a felony. Normally, I would get a warrant for you, but since it's a felony and it just happened 2 days ago, I don't need a warrant. So they put the cuffs on him and took him in. In Florida, criminal mischief resulting in a damage of $1,000 or more is classified as a third-degree felony. This can carry a sentence of up to 5 years in prison and a $5,000 fine, along with the obligation for the offender to provide restitution to the victim. The owner of the truck that was keyed had decided to press charges, resulting in a swift arrest of the brothers without the need for an arrest warrant. Due to the recent and severe nature of the crime, he was jailed overnight. Brother's wife did not appear happy about the situation. She apparently was very angry at Richard for doing this. He was arrested and transported to Key West Jail. The preliminary hearing for the case is scheduled for on April 30th, where brothers will face Judge Mark Wilson in a pretrial hearing to address the charges. And he does not look the slightest bit repentant in the picture that they have posted of him. It's kind of like yeah, whatever. Take my picture. Dude, if you're looking at $5,000 fine and a potential $6,000 paint job, you are screwed. And I would light this guy up hard. If he's got a vacation house in Key West and he's got a house in New York, he ain't broke. Make it hurt. Scroll. And of course, make it an example too. Scroll. I'm at 10 o'clock here, but I got a couple more good stories. This one I find a meme that I found, and it's from Smart Asset. This one is annoying to the degree of which I cannot begin to express to you guys. But let's just say I live in one of the 11 states. So single workers need a 6-figure salary to live comfortably in 11 U.S. states, a new study says. Yeah. So the 11 states where the single workers need over $100,000 to live comfortably are in order from most to least expensive. First, Massachusetts. Second, Hawaii. Third, California. Fourth, New York. Fifth, Washington State. Sixth, Colorado. Seventh, New Jersey. Eighth is Maryland. Ninth is Oregon. 10th is Rhode Island. And 11th is Connecticut. Notice most of those are in the Northeast and the Northwest, the West Coast. Oh, yeah, East Coast, West Coast. Wonder why that is. Oh, yeah, they're blue freaking states. So annoying. I don't know why I didn't put that link in there. That's weird. Well, anyway, Barbara Streisand says, basically that Democrats are the ones who make a great economy. Barbara Streisand. There's a reason why her name starts with and ends with B and S. Wow. Columbia University suspending students after the call to end the Gaza camp is unheeded. Also coming in from Columbia, they're now hunkering down and making their little area of which to, basically entrench themselves. These college guys really, truly don't have the slightest clue for how much this is going to blow back on them. And they're leaning into it like, oh, we're ready to take charge. Just give us amnesty, please. No, that's not going to happen. One thing that I think is absolutely cool as hell. Got a couple more news stories here. DeSantis meets with Trump. Basically, they buried the hatchet. These guys now going to work with one another. I see nothing but good can come from them being well aligned and in the same line of thinking. That's cool stuff. This one is absolutely hilarious. Joe Kaka and all his mental, verbal, and bad problems. It's public speaking. Sorry, there's no delete button. We've heard him say that. from the Daily Caller, the White House communications staff has tried to correct President Joe Kaka's public remarks at least 148 times since the beginning of 2024. A review of the official White House transcript shows. Communications staff frequently correct, add, or alter Biden's official remarks in order to either bring them in compliance with official White House policy. That's not the case at all, folks. They're doing creative editing because he's kajitching all over the place. So anyway, in several cases, official statements have been changed to convey the exact opposite of what Biden actually said. In at least one case, the White House put out a transcript that was falsely portraying what Biden had said out loud. Oops. Yeah, we can hear it for what it is. And, like I've said a bazillion times, folks, don't say anything in public that you don't want anybody else to, copy, hear, all the rest of that happy, fun stuff, because you never know. So they can always do a screenshot. They can always download a copy of it. They can have it hanging out someplace, and it's going to be out there, okay? Don't do these things unless you really, truly want somebody else to know about it. Just don't, okay? There is no delete button on the internet. We got the music running, so I guess that means we're out of here. Thank you guys for hanging out with me so much, and I got many other things to do on Tuesday, but you guys decided to hang out with me. I truly appreciate your kind attention, so I will catch you guys next week, and let's put out something sooner. Thank you guys yet again for another epic hangout where it worked. I had to kill that extension. That was just bad juju. So I'll catch you guys next week. Good stuff like that there. I will see you then. Have a good one. Eat your as always. You know what, you love it. See you guys. Ernest.